All praise to the Most High, cause He saved me. All praise to the Most High. It's giving. Welcome to day 46. This is going to be the weekly recap for this past trading week. This video, I combine 4 videos in one, and I'll touch on it to why in my weekly recap, but mainly you guys will see, if you guys did see already actually in day 44, the first 2 clips, I posted live recordings of me trading, and that is literally when I lost my funded account. So you guys saw me lose my funded account in real time, and I don't know, I just needed a break. I was like, I don't know, I didn't have any mental capacity to really film my day to day. I filmed a little bit. I went to the movies and went out to eat Thursday night. So it was, I tried to get my mind off of me losing my funded account and not try to dwell on it too much. But this weekend, it was more so reviewing, back testing, things like that. So yeah, that's why Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is videos all going to be merged into one. And then tomorrow is Monday, June 9th. And then, I'll get back to regular schedule, posting one video daily. And, each video will have its own date. So this video is just going to kind of be all over the place. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to make it still as informative as possible, especially with these daily recaps, weekly recap, and weekly market breakdown you guys will see in this video. So nevertheless, so getting right into it, right, this is my weekly recap. I do this every Saturday. I try to do it every Saturday morning, but this is my weekly recap, right? So I put first a screenshot. This is the email that I got from TopStep, confirming that I lost my funded account. My weekly market breakdown last Sunday, you guys knew my intention going into this past trading week was to pretty much continue to take quick scalps in line with the daily directional bias and 1 hour order flow. That way I can slowly but surely get my account out of drawdown and just get more of a breathing room to actually take, back. Get back to taking statistical trades that actually make sense compared to just quick scalps. I don't like trading the way that I was trading, but for me, it was just more so okay, I don't want to lose this funded account. I'm trying to keep it as alive as possible, so it's more so I didn't really have a choice, but it is what it is. Like they said, every trader makes mistakes, and the best ones learn from them. Your funded account has been closed as a result of violating the following risk parameter rules. Do not let your account balance hit or go below $2,000, the maximum loss limit. Although you weren't successful this time, learning from today is an important step in your development. Keep at it and don't forget to take advantage of so and so. So yeah, that is the weekly recap, the attachment I put, because this had the most impact on me this week. So my weekly summary now, very detailed, right? So I'm gonna read all of it. So this week was week 1 of June, and let me be completely honest when I say it did not go as planned at all. My intention going into the trading week was to continue to take quick scalps in line with the daily directional bias and 1 hour order flow to continue to slowly but surely get myself out of drawdown. The week started off fairly decent. It was a boost of confidence because I took one trade on Monday and made a profit of about $40. I thought to myself that this was great and is what I needed because I may now not have to take as many quick scalps, or I'm now at least in a position to not have to take these quick scalps for much longer and get to trading in a more strategical manner. On Thursday is when things took a turn and it rooted in me breaking my trading plan. I took 2 trades before my trading time window, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the market humbled me for doing so. This is the day when I hit the $2,000 maximum loss limit and lost my funded account. I was disappointed in my performance on Thursday, and I was starting to lose confidence in my ability as a trader because I felt very close to bringing my funded account back to life. As hard as it is to say, I feel like I needed to get humbled because when I first got funded in April, I was starting to make plans of what I'm going to pay off and how I'm going to get myself out of debt and so on and so on. And I think that nothing is wrong with having those personal goals, especially when it comes down to finances for what you're going to do with your future payouts, because that gives me something to look forward to. However, I let it go to my head too much to the point where I was just forcing trades too much, and that's why my trading performance in May wasn't good. Where am I at? Because I started off taking low probability trades in my funded account, and of course they add up, and that's how I got close to hitting my maximum loss limit within the first month of having my funded account. The plan now is to take next week 2 of June, off from live trading, and next Friday I'll be purchasing another 50 combine with Top Step, and I will then be looking to trade on that account in week 3 of June. I'm going to spend this weekend going over old backtesting sessions along with actually backtesting as well to work on building my confidence back up. That way I can approach my next funded account with confidence and feeling well equipped for it. Excuse me. Aside from live trading, this week was a better week when it came down to me executing on my daily high priority actions, i.e., pre-market analysis, post-market analysis, daily trade commentaries, YouTube. Zella Zone this month is a big driving force for me, but I also do feel fulfilled when I am completing my daily HPAs because I'm working on my purpose in life. Zella Zone is going to be very beneficial for me this month because I know that it's going to help me a lot with my consistency and becoming a better journaler overall. So that is the overall weekly summary for this weekly recap. That's how I genuinely feel about this week, and I touched a little bit on my intentions going into this new trading week, but that's more so going to be saved for my weekly market breakdown. So key takeaways from the week. 1 second. I don't know why I'm in my car filming this. It's just quieter. Turn on the AC though a little bit. Alright. So key takeaways from the week. What worked well? So I completed a daily journal for every day this week. Each daily journal was very detailed and not rushed compared to last week. When I say my daily journals, I mean these here. So Sunday, weekly market breakdown. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I completed one every single day this week. So consistency. And they're not just, there. I feel like they're very detailed. You know what I mean? Like you see here, I go into mental game check-in, personal focus for today, my trading rules, my pre-market markups, my post-market markups. Did I trade today? If so, include a screenshot or include the link to my trade journal, which I did. Mindset reflection. Same with Tuesday. And Tuesday, mental game check-in, personal focus, pre-market markups, post-market markups. Did I trade today? Mindset reflection. So it's like Monday through Friday, it's all as detailed as possible. So I am proud of myself for that because last week, like the last week of May, like I did my daily journal for the most part every day, or I did do every day last week. However, it was just not as detailed. It was very rushed and more so just trying to get something checked off my to-do list. You know what I mean? So this week I did a way better job of making sure it's detailed and really being intentional with my journaling. So I am proud of myself for that and just going to do my very best to keep that consistency throughout the trading month of June. Because it's not just about your trades, it's also about the small habits, waking up on time, pre-market analysis, post-market analysis, journaling your trade, journaling your day, eating right, surrounding yourself with the right people, faith, like all these things overall make you a trader. It's not just charts. It's not just technicals. It's not just trading psychology. It's a lot more that goes into it. So daily journal. I completed my pre-market analysis every day this week before the New York Stock Exchange opened. I completed my post-market analysis every day this week. I'm building back consistency with my daily trade commentaries. What didn't work? On Thursday morning, I told myself that a personal goal for me that day was to wait for the right entry to present itself and to focus on only A-plus setups. So I went astray from that goal that I had set out for myself because I was impatient. Because I was impatient when it comes to waiting for the right entry because I executed before my trading time window had opened. Positions executed. So Monday I took one trade, and then Thursday I didn't do my trade journal right away. I waited till market closed, but by the time market had closed, Top Step had already sent me this email, so I couldn't log back into Top Step X to export my trades from the Top Step X platform and import those two trades into TradeZilla. So because of that, I couldn't even do my trade recap. So I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you go to my trade number one for Monday's trade, the note I used, it was just a simple note like this. I didn't really go into detail. I didn't really actually use my trade recap template that I normally use. It has my stats, but again, I didn't even really fill anything out just because it was a quick scalp. If it was a trade that was like really in my trading plan, then yes, I would have used my actual trade recap template. And my actual trade recap template is, let me show you guys real quick. This is my actual trade recap template here. So it's very detailed. But again, because I didn't really take a trade within my playbook, I was just like, nothing's going to really align. So I just didn't even bother to do it. And then my daily journal, those links are pretty much just here, Sunday, Monday, through Friday. So if I just click on Sunday, for example, and then boom, it will load as a PDF, and I can see my weekly market breakdown. So that's what these things are here. Emotional and psychological review. So did I follow my plan consistency? No, not throughout the week. Monday, the game plan went as followed. Thursday is when I had fun with the game plan. I kept my weekly game plan in mind throughout the trading week, even on the days where I didn't trade. But keeping it in mind is one thing. Actually following through with it is another. Did I let my emotions impact my decisions? If you guys watched day 44 early on this video, yes. On Thursday, I did, and I let my emotions get the best of me, and that's how I lost my funded account. Was there any over trading or revenge trading? There was no over trading. Revenge trading somewhat, because after my first trade on Thursday was a loss, is when I had placed my second trade, and that second trade was placed because my ego was hurt that the previous trade was a loss. It was an emotional and not logical decision. I was just trying to make back my loss, pretty much. How disciplined was I with my exits? I would say disciplined. When it comes down to the quick scalps, I wasn't trying to look for any home run trades like, buy-side liquidity pools. I was just more just trying to take my profit and dip. So the goal was just to make small profits and then scale from there. Lessons learned and adjustments. What is my biggest lesson from this week? Remain a student always. Never feel like you got trading all figured out. I should always be looking for ways to grow and evolve within my craft. What will I do differently next week? Next week, I will continue to do the things that I did this week, especially when it comes to consistently executing on my daily HPAs. But if there's one thing within my trading that I would like to emphasize more, then it's going to be getting back into backtesting and reviewing my backtesting journals. It's honestly way overdue. However, it's better to start now than never. So that is my full weekly recap. Again, something I do every single Saturday. It doesn't matter if I have a good trading week, a bad trading week, profitable trading week, unprofitable. Just making sure that I actually do a deep dive into my week is crucial to me. So hopefully you guys were able to take something valuable away from this. But besides that, next clip is going to be the weekly market breakdown for what I'll be looking at throughout this next upcoming week. Welcome to the weekly market breakdown for Sunday, June 8th, 2025. So Normally, before I get into the charts, I always look at Forex Factory. Forex Factory is where I can check the economic calendar. So I can just edit the dates pretty much. So put 9th, 13th, apply settings. There we go. Automatically populates all the news we have this week. So Monday, no news. Tuesday, no news. Wednesday, we have CPI. So it should be a pretty volatile day that day. Thursday, we have PPI and unemployment claims. And then Friday, we have the consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So we have no medium impact news this week, just straight heavy impact news. So expecting this week to be a week with a good amount of volume. Monday and Tuesday, not so sure. It could still be a day where it's, nice volume, nice price action, markets moving clean. However, I always tell myself on days where there are no news to just don't be surprised if there is a lack of volume in the market that day, just because nothing's really going to be driving the New York Stock Exchange besides time. So now weekly market breakdown. Beginning, always start from the monthly time frame. And I didn't do any markups yet, so I'm going to be doing them on this video. So it may be a little longer, and just kind of take my time when it comes to these markups. Monthly time frame, nothing's going to really change as far as markups, because it is a monthly time frame. It takes more time to develop and play out. However, I think I touched last week how May we came into this daily supply region here, and price didn't come into it and then close below it with bearish intention. We closed with it with a bullish intent, which lets me know that quarter one high and quarter four of 2024 high may still be a draw on liquidity throughout the month of June. As you can see, so the month of June hasn't started yet. Market opens at 5 p.m. today. Yeah, about 1700 today, I believe. And again, we're going into week 2 of June. We still have 22 trading days and 5 hours left in the month of June. A lot can happen within those 22 days and 5 hours. Therefore, I'm not going to be expecting too much. However, just going based strictly off going strictly based off of May's monthly candlestick, I do have a good feeling that June is going to be a continuation of May's bullish price action. So go from there. Now going to the weekly time frame. So this is how last week's weekly candlestick closed. In last week's weekly market breakdown, I talked about how overall this candlestick did close bullish. However, you gotta pay attention to how a price closed. We came into the supply region on the weekly time frame, and we closed below it, which shows a reaction from the upside. So that lets me know that the market isn't really willing to trade higher at this point in time. However, that wasn't the case last week. Last week, price pretty much neglected this reaction here, and we just continue to see higher prices into that day supply region, the weekly supply region. However, we still did not close within it or above it just yet. Now we may get that this week. Who knows? But based off this week's weekly candlestick closure alone, I will be anticipating another bullish weekly range this week. So if that is the case, of course, we know that 95% of the time in a bullish market, in a bullish weekly range expansion, the low of the week typically forms on Monday. Something I've been studying for about, next month will be 3 years. I've been trading NASDAQ since July. I believe it was July 7th of 2022 to be exact. So I'm coming up on 3 years of trading NASDAQ, and I've collected so much data, and it is facts. 95% of the time, the low of the week in a bullish week forms on Monday, and vice versa. In a bearish market, 95% of the time, Monday forms the high of the week. Go back and see the data for yourselves, but it's just how NASDAQ moves. Sometimes it is Sunday, but again, most of the time it is going to be that Monday. So going to be expecting the same thing this week. Low of the week to form on Monday. If not, maybe Tuesday. Sunday does it too sometimes, but we'll see. I don't know why I keep doing that. All right, daily time frame though. Daily time frame. So daily time frame. Again, we still have price is still moving to the upside, right? We're still forming higher highs and higher lows. Let me delete that really quickly. All right. So price is still forming higher highs and higher low. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, anticipating for that new higher low to form, right? This is all just internal structure, so bear that in mind. Um, but we saw last week where Thursday price took out the previous monthly high along with the previous weekly high. It was the same exact high. And we saw a strong reaction Thursday, and going into Friday, I was expecting for price to continue with that bearish price action and possibly take out these lows here, but that failed to happen. NFP did drive price higher, but we did keep Thursday's high intact. So I think more so it's just going to be really paying close attention to how price develops over the next 2 days. I think once Monday has officially came to a close and then we're in Tuesday's price action, we'll get a better indication of how the week is likely to trade, because we can still see a late reaction away from the previous monthly high because it is a significant pool of liquidity, But again, the market's imperfect. It doesn't have to happen. It's just safe. It's just better to have these if this happens then that happens, or if this then that, or just have different scenarios overall. So right now my main focus is just going to be really paying close attention to how Monday and Tuesday develops, But besides that, again, order flow is still clearly bullish, and quarter one high for me, that is still my higher time frame draw on liquidity. That does not change at all. Now, if price is going to trade lower sometime this week, depending on the intent we get, possibly we can see these lows taken, because they are clean. These lows are clean. So that is a possible scenario. But again, just going to just honestly just really stay patient first couple of days of the week, and we'll kind of see and go from there. All right, 4-hour time frame. Again, price is forming higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Price pulls back into this 4-hour decisional, forms the low of the week on Thursday, June 5th, after the previous month high was taken, and then Friday was a continuation of bullish price action. When Friday closed, we failed to take out that previous daily high, which was Thursday's, the high of the week pretty much. Thursday high of the week stayed intact. But now what I'm looking for is, I like this here. I like this because it lets me know that they're just stacked highs pretty much. And it's like, if we are going to see a bullish weekly range expansion, then I would like price to trade lower, but then eventually take out these highs with aggression as well. I think that would be really, really clean. But then we'll kind of just go from there. 1-hour time frame. It's the last time frame I'll be going over. So this trade here, I did not take it, but I think I mentioned it to you guys sometime last week, where I dedicated pretty much all of quarter one this year to really practice swing trading, because like I said, for now, and I don't really want to go on a big rant with this, I could talk about it all day, honestly, but my roots when it comes to trading, specifically NASDAQ, I started off on lower time frames, 1 minute entries, 5 minute entries, 15-minute entries. Like, the lower time frame is where my roots are at, and I don't mind the lower time frame, because again, I've been trading lower time frames for 3 years now almost, so that's where most of the experience comes from. But it's with me, I think my mindset now is transitioning to, like, okay, that was really when I was back home working 9 to 5, had a way better schedule. Like, okay, I'm getting off at, let's just say, for example, 9 a.m. Like going into work at 9 a.m. And getting off at 5 p.m. for example. And that was a guaranteed schedule. In the military, now that I'm in the Navy, you do have a schedule. Like we have our working hours like 7:15 a.m. to like 11:30 sometimes, or 12:30, or sometimes it's 4 p.m., 3 p.m. Like it just varies. It's not a set schedule. Like our go-in time is set, but like our off time and things like that, it's just not set. And then we have things like duty days, and you have watches. So it's like, it's not like a 9 to 5 job, you know what I mean? So because of that, and then plus with just a military lifestyle, again, washes, duty days, underways, deployments, things like that, it's just like I want to set myself up in a position now to succeed down the line, in the Navy. It's like I'm not going on deployment anytime soon. I'm not going out to sea anytime soon. But it's just like I want to prepare myself, especially when it comes to building that swing trading approach. I want to really go in on that skill set, so that way when a deployment does come around, or underway does come around, or I have watched things like that, I don't want to feel like the Navy is taking away from my trading. You know what I mean? And in a sense, if I'm going to keep lower time frame, if I'm going to keep trading on the lower time frames, in a sense, it will, But if I'm swing trading, my swing trading approach is way different. And I haven't really talked to you guys about it just yet. But for example, in the lower time frames, I have a set trading time window, 9:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, dedicated to lower time frame. And I'm on the charts for those 2 hours pretty much, whenever I try to take a trade. If it trade hits CP, if it hits stop loss. But overall, it's that 2 hour trading time window. When it comes to swing trading, I don't have a trading time window. It's more so when that alert goes off, or when that buy limit is triggered, or that sell limit is triggered. And by trading that way, it gives me a lot more freedom to both just to overall feel fulfilled within my trading journey, which is my purpose in life, along with feel fulfilled in my Navy obligations, So long term, I do want to swing trade. Like that's my end goal with trading, is to transition into swing trading. But for now, since I'm not out at sea and I have the time to do so, I am, lower time frame trading. And plus, when it comes to these prop firms like Top Step or my funded futures, or just these future prop firms in general, they don't allow you to swing trade, so I don't really have a choice but to trade on the lower time frames right now. And I don't mind it. It's just like right now I just want to maximize it to the best of my ability, get payouts, and like I said, use those payouts to put money into my personal account. And then again, if I have like 5K, 10K to personal account, like I'm good. I do not need futures prop firms, because we all have our different trading goals. Like my goal for myself in life isn't to be like rich. I don't care to buy a freaking Lamborghini or a mansion, all these things. I don't have those goals. I have my own personal goals that I may one day share with you all, but that's not my goal. I just want to be debt free, comfortable, provide for myself, provide for my family, things like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we all have these different goals, and I feel like it's important to know like your why and what's really driving you. So again, I'm not looking for the biggest payout when it comes to these future firms. I'm looking for maybe a couple 5K payouts, or 4,500, whatever Top Step's payout policy is. But like, I don't know, like when it comes to that, I'm good. Because when it comes to swing trading, these 1 hour swing trades, like, man, the opportunities are endless. Like, for example, this is something I'm going to log in my playbook on once the high of the week. Well, it's Sunday now, so once the previous weekly high is taken, then I'll officially log this trade in my TradeZetta playbook as in like a missed trade for my pro trend swing entry model. So I'm basically just tracking all these pro trend swing entries that I would take on a personal account, and just seeing how I would grow my personal account if I was to take these trades. So for this right here, for example, is 454 point trade. And I think there was one also last week as well, but this one is 454.25 points times 2. So for example, if I took this if I take this trade on a personal account with one contract with micro e-mini, that would be $908. You know, so like I said, for me, like, I'm good doing that. I don't really need to trade on a prop firm long term, at least. You know, for now, yes, I need capital to build that personal account, but like long term, it's just, I don't really care to trade with prop firms long term. Honestly, I'm just trying to grow my personal account. And that should be the end goal with all of those traders, to be honest. But anyways, I am going on a tangent, and I did not intend to. I am sorry. But 1 hour time frame overall, back to the market, we can see that price is still staircasing towards the upside, right? And then we have this pause in price. We have this pause in price, but again, I'm going to be expecting that next expansion. So we can either get something like that, and then, go from there, or price can trade lower, and then form low of the week here, and then trade higher. So either or, but I definitely want to see price staircase towards the upside, take out the previous weekly high, and that'll be, beautiful to see. It's a 15-minute time frame really quickly, and then I'll wrap this video up. I'm not gonna really do too much markups. I kind of just want to see how price is. So yeah, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price takes out that liquidity there. All right, cool. So yeah, 15-minute time frame is looking nice as well when it comes to market structure. All right. Yeah, cool beans. But 1 second before I end this weekly market breakdown. It's gonna be longer than intended because I did not mean to talk that much about my the swing trading thing, but again, I kind of just want to be transparent when it comes to documenting my trading journey and talk about my attention to someone. Sheesh, look at Q2's candlestick. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Yeah, look at this. Like, look how bullish we are. Sheesh. Yeah, I think Q2 may have definitely formed the low of the year. Yeah, there's no way that this is not the low of the year right here. Yeah, all I see is just higher prices rest of the year. Again, we do have 22 days left in the month of June, but I mean, June keeps it up with this bullish price action. Yeah, these highs are definitely on the table for sure. Interesting. But I'm looking forward towards the rest of this year, to be honest. Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this weekly market breakdown. Kind of want this video to be too long. But now you guys know, how my week last week was, and now you guys know my intentions for this week. Again, I'm not gonna be live trading because I don't have an account to live trade on. I'm gonna wait till Friday. I'm gonna take this week off from live trading, continue to show up. I'm gonna still do my pre-market analysis, post-market analysis, my daily trade commentaries, YouTube videos going over the charts still. But as far as me taking any live trades, that will not be happening this week. I really want to mentally reset and refresh myself, and I'm gonna use this week to do so that way next week I should be ready to get back on this journey with trying to not become funded, because I already did that, but now it's gonna be more so of just trying to get my first payout. Go from there, and then once I get that milestone out the way, consistently get payouts. So we'll see. But overall, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.